Here's one of those LA moments of when you're a new artist from Philly, going to a new place, living in a new place, and you have to find a new band. This is it. This is what happens. Well, this story is it's about Fishbone and Fish from Fishbone. I was new artist. I moved to LA. Randy Jackson from, you guys know him from TV or whatever. He was working at the label. He was supposed to help me get a band together. So he sets up this audition. He sets up an audition and okay? So he sets up this audition. It has musicians coming through from LA to audition to be in Reese's band, this new artist from Philly. And I'm sitting there and I've never had a band before. They come in and a whole group of people, like 5 people come in to play. Everyone has a different instrument and they play the song together and everyone solos, and I guess somehow they got the impression that I really wanted to have an audition and I wanted to pick my band members, which I did. So, but everything is rigged. I mean, everything is kind of rigged, but this rigging worked out in a good way. So I asked one guy, they have one guy come in and play drums and I'm like, oh, he's good, whatever. And then Fish comes in, but I know of Fishbone, but I never went to their concerts. I never listened to a lot of their albums or anything like that. But I just know they're incredible. So the guy walks in the door, and I noticed like 5 other people got up and left. Like all the other drummers left. Like, oh, he's here? Like, I'm out. He never even comes to an audition. I mean, it's Fish from Fishbone. He does not audition. He either won them. You either can afford them or you can't, right? And he wants to do the gig or he doesn't. So he comes in, probably reluctantly, like, okay, I'm gonna do it. All my other friends are doing this gig. They want me to get the gig. They're telling me I have to show up. So he shows up, and that's just me thinking what he was saying in his head. Shows up and does the gig, and he's just like, kind of like, playing the drums. He's playing them right, and he's just like, doing it. And all the other players come in, and we go through all of them, and I'm like, no, I want the other guy. The other guy, Gerald, who's an amazing drummer too. I think his name is, I want to say Gerald or Gerald. And he plays with like Shaka Khan and everybody else. So he's good. He's amazing. And I'm like, yeah, I like him. I'm like, he had energy. And basically they were like playing me kind of like, the drummer's going up there, throwing the sticks in the air, doing all this stuff. So I'm like, I like him. He's flashy, And he played well. And so they're like, you sure you don't want to Fish? And I'm like, he didn't seem really excited. Like he wasn't really excited or anything, like I like this guy. They're like, okay. So, but they, he's good. And we get him, we play a bunch of gigs. Eventually I'm like, you know what, he wasn't really the right drummer for me because I have 6,000 different types of genres on my album and he just isn't the right one. He's a great drummer, but just different. We go back and they're like, okay, well, but mind you, before I fired the guy, the first drummer, you have to do click tracks, which are tracks so the drummer knows what the timing of the song is live. So you have to go in the studio for that and do that before you can play the live show. So Fish was like, well, they were like, no, my friend Fish, the guy you didn't pick, they're like, he said he'll come in and do the click tracks tomorrow. So just know your drummer is not going to do it, but this other guy is our friend. He's going to come do it. Cool. My drummer's cool with that. Everybody's cool with it. So he's like, hey, how you doing? And he's real chill. He's like zen. I don't know what this guy must have been like in the Fishbone days. I would assume a lot more wilder, but he's very peaceful, like namaste. So he does the click tracks and he's real humble, cool. I fired the guy, the first drummer, and they're like, oh, our boy Fish can do it. I'm like, okay, cool. Realize this is the motherfucker I needed. Like, he is ridiculous. This guy Fish, I know he's from this band Fishbone that's like amazing. Everybody's telling me you never saw a Fishbone show, you never listened to their music, you do like rock and you don't know. I can't know everything. So he comes, plays a show, plays gigs, and I'm like, notice, and I'm like, this dude got groupies? Like people are like, hey, is Fish playing this show with this girl Reese? He has groupies. Every show. I don't even have groupies yet, But he's Fish from Fishbone, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Yeah, I guess Fish is over here. I'm like, Fish, you have some guests here, these guys, girls, whatever. Love his music. Like people are on their knees talking to this guy, like in backstage area, and I'm like, I mean, he drops a drumstick. People are like rushing to pick it up. I mean, he has drum techs. He got people carrying his shit. He's that dude. And not in a pretentious way, just in a like, oh yeah, they said they can help me with my back, whatever. And because he's muscular and built. So do some shows. I'm like, wow, you're great, But I'm like, I was kind of struggling with, this is my first band. Do I have a first, am I the leader of my band? I tell him, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna, everyone's like, listen to his music, he's the shit. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna listen to your songs yet because like, this is my band. Like, I gotta be the leader of my band. Like, I can't be like intimidated by like all the players, how great they are on my band, and I'm like the little like new kid, you know? So he's like, all right. He's like, oh, okay, whenever you're ready, like whatever. He doesn't care. Then I go, more time goes by, and I'm feeling good, and I'm like, all right. I'm like, hey Fish, what's your music? What songs? And he's like, I'm like, what songs should I listen to? Like, tell me what I should listen to for Fishbone. Like, it's my first, I'm listening to Fishbone like for the first time knowingly and everything. He goes, listen to Party at Ground Zero. And I'm like, all right, cool. I go get the album that has it on there, and I'm like blown away. I'm like, I come back to like 2 days later, like, yo, that shit is crack. And I'm like, so when'd you guys do that? And he goes, when I was 11. And I'm like, 11? He's like, yeah, I did it when I was 11. We did that. And I'm like, so glad I didn't listen to this. So glad, because, I mean, basically, listen to Party at Ground Zero right now, an 11-year-old is playing the drums.